Hi, welcome to the Silver Spleen. My name is Sneezy McSniffles, and this is my review of Dante Lamb's Viral Factor. With filming locations such as Jordan and Malaysia, the Viral Factor is certainly a geographically large film. The action, too, is often larger than life. Nicolas Tse does most of his own stunt work, and he deserves a lot of credit for getting very obviously knocked around. Lucas picked out Daddy's pajamas. Andy On also does well in his action scenes. He's convincing, and these days, that's a rare talent.
Jesus, what an ass kisser.
Chou does alright with his action scenes, but in comparison, he's pretty much in third place. Whenever the action stops, the Viral Factor stumbles and falls for two very basic reasons. First, the plot is ridiculously melodramatic and overloaded with pathos. The Viral Factor is the story of a policeman played by Chou, who loses a scientist and his girlfriend on the same day after being betrayed by a colleague. The scientist is kidnapped, and his girlfriend is murdered. Jay also ends up with a bullet lodged in his brain that gives him approximately 2 weeks to live.
How much longer do I have? It can happen at any moment.
In this time, he has to find the virus, seek revenge for his girlfriend, rescue the scientist, and find his long-lost brother, all while suffering occasional debilitating headaches and, we are told, degenerating mental and physical capabilities. If he has time to cure cancer, that would be nice too. Sadly, the plot is never really given enough attention to foster its development. We're expected to suddenly care about people and situations that have been ritually ignored for 20 minutes. My biggest problem with the Viral Factor is the utter lack of logic and intelligence throughout the film. Chou's character has headaches because of a bullet lodged in his brain. These headaches seem to happen at narratively convenient, predictable times. If he's busy, the bullet leaves him alone. What a thoughtful bullet. His first headache happens when he's flying to Malaysia in a jet. Luckily for him, there's a doctor on board, who just happens to also be a virologist, and a woman. Well, she quickly notices that he's having a headache, so what does? She just walks right into the cabin, because ever since September 11th, they propped the door open with a little piece of wood, you can walk right in, and tells the pilot that the air pressure in the cabin is too much for Jay, and so could they go to a lower altitude to take some of the pressure off, because Malaysian airplanes fly with the fucking windows open. This is your captain speaking. We're approaching some clouds, so please roll the windows up to keep the cabin dry. Thank you. Hey, scriptwriter, did you know that commercial airplanes have had sealed cabins since the 1940s? No? Well, look on the internet, fuckwit. As time is running out, Chou must find Andy On in Kuala Lumpur, a city of 1.5 million people, with traffic that's horrendous. How does Jay find him? He looks around, and there, driving down the fucking street, is Andy On. What luck! You know, when I watch a movie where a man with a terminal head injury needs to locate a single person in a city of 1.5 million people, I want something more interesting than he looks around once. Chou also has to track down the virus and the female scientist who's been kidnapped. She's busy working on an antidote for the virus that Andy On is forcing her to make. Andy warns her that she better not try to make a fake antidote, because he has an image of what the antidote is supposed to look like, and if hers doesn't look the same, then he'll know that she's lying. Latest poster for the virus monologues. No, I'm not kidding. That's the image of the virus. F*** a bunch of science, he's got a photo. This female scientist is hard at work in a shipping container that also has all the bad guys in it, which ostensibly explains why Chou throws a grenade into the shipping container. Don't worry, the virus is explosion-proof, just like Chou and the scientist. She's unscathed. She doesn't have a headache either, just like Chou, because he's busy. Unfortunately, I couldn't really say the same for myself. This movie turned out to be an immense headache. I really wanted to like and enjoy the Viral Factor. I just couldn't. Is it fair of me to want to see a movie that doesn't play like it was written by a 10-year-old? I don't mind suspending my disbelief, but I refuse to have my disbelief gang-raped by a bunch of mouth-breathing idiots who can't be bothered applying even minimal research, much less logic and thought. If that's the case, then f*** you too. Now, this movie is worth watching, mostly just so you can see how bad it is, and I feel bad saying that. I have a hard time recommending this movie, as I'm sure you can tell, but I can at least recommend that you shouldn't watch it illegally. You should buy a disc or rent it. In the description, there's a link where you can do just that. That's what I need for you to do. Don't download movies, don't watch them online, pay for them. If you enjoyed this review, please leave me a comment, and if you didn't enjoy the review, leave me a comment anyway. If you like these reviews in general, please subscribe to the channel. Malaysia Pole!